Let me tell you, this country wasn't founded by illegal immigrants. It was founded by settlers who came here to build the country, not bring it down.
Do you think that immigrants are good for the economy as a total?
No.
Really? Not at all?
No.
Not at all?
No.
But what about during
Why
the...
don't you get onto the agenda? They're trying to knock out the white race.
You think so?
Oh, amen.
They're trying to replace you?
Yeah, we're trying to replace the white race.
Who's they, though?
You find out who they is and come back and then you talk to me.
Well, you're the one that told me the...
I'm giving you information. You go do your research. Be an investigator journalist.
How do you feel when Donald Trump calls Democrats the enemy from within or uses apocalyptic rhetoric like that?
Well, I mean, how should I feel when Democrats call Donald Trump Hitler and all of his
Like J.D. Vance said?
Well, J.D. Vance said it, corrected the record, and stood corrected. It takes guts to admit that, right? Trump says Democrats are the enemy within. Fine. I don't think he should say that. But do you think the Democrats should say that Donald Trump is Hitler and his supporters are Nazis? And that this is a revival of the 1939 Nazi rally?
It's unfair to say that MAGA are Nazis, but I do think when people like John Kelly, a four-star general, comes out, when people like Mark Milley all corroborate the record that Donald Trump wanted German generals, and when he was pushed on that, Bismarck generals, not Bismarck generals, Hitler generals, he said, yeah, I think there's an argument there to be made where you can call this stuff out. Don't you think we should call that out at least?
Look, quite frankly, I don't believe General Kelly.
Really? A four-star? You drove Trump over Kennedy?
I don't, because all of our generals have actually been politicized.
Do you think George Soros is like a force behind the scenes controlling everything within the Democratic Party?
Oh, he gives a lot of money to them, so what do you think? I mean, I don't have to think about that. Who's he giving money to?
Do you think it's bad that a billionaire is controlling a party like that?
In that respect, absolutely. His money is funneling to all these people.
If you had to have dinner with one Democrat, who would it be?
I shouldn't say this. My husband.
I would say, because of the future, I would say with Kamala Harris and telling her she can't do the job and she needs to go find a better employment somewhere else.
What do you think she'd be good at?
As a voice, what do you call it? A voice actor. There you go. A voice actor with the laugh that she's got.
Oh, there you go.
Well, yes, tariffs are very oppressive when the British do them. Now that we're doing them, think of it more as a freedom subscription. The Old North Church. It was here Paul Revere lit 2 lanterns to signal the British were coming by sea. A system we're also implementing in the suburbs to tell police what criminals to be on the lookout for. 1 if black, 2 if Latino. So when the British shot civilians, we all agreed that Boston had a right to defend itself. Yes? Put the flag away. King's Chapel was partially financed by Charles Apthorpe, who wasn't doing anything anybody else wasn't doing. So, no real story here. It is the honor of my life to tell you we will be scraping the gold off of the State House to reapply to the White House. Let's just say, if I was Putin right now, I'd be pretty freaking scared.
Donald Trump just effed around and found out with these tariffs to Canada because now Ontario in Canada, the premier there, is placing a 25% surcharge on all electricity that they export to 3 of our border states, Michigan, Minnesota, and New York. That's about $100 a month per customer, 1.5 million people at least. And guess what he is saying? He said he's not going to hesitate to raise the surcharge or even shut it off completely if Donald Trump keeps this up. Look, sometimes you play, you want to bluff or whatever, and sometimes people call your bluff and you end up losing, like Donald Trump is a loser right now. And guess what? So are the American people, because he's the one that's leading the country. He's the one that started this tariff BS. F around and find out. DJT. And by the way, my mouth is like this because I just came from the dentist. Just an FYI.
This is a great point that I forgot to mention. During Trump's first term, when he put tariffs on China, they retaliated and put tariffs on imported goods from the US, specifically agriculture and farming goods, and we had to subsidize farmers over $20 billion because they were going bankrupt. He claims that there was no inflation and claims that there was no financial burden on the United States after his tariffs and our consumers, But he had to bail out farmers who were literally cutting their profits in half because of his trade war that he started. No, we didn't see direct inflation overall, but that doesn't mean that nobody struggled and that nobody was impacted by Donald Trump's tariffs, because they were, and many small businesses suffered for it.
Guys, I really do think that the farm having a big time. Yeah, they are freaking out, finding out green after voting for Trump, because the tariff has really affected them. It has really affected their business. It has really affected their pocket. It has really affected their bank accounts. Yeah, all their thoughts in 2025 has become a nightmare. It has become a nightmare because they are getting exactly what for. So the tariff has really affected their business, and some of them has even stopped their farming job. So many has closed up, so many businesses has folded up because of the Trump tariff. Yeah, you guys, like, I do not really know why a lot of you guys did not try to go through the project 2025 to really know what you were going into, to really know what you were signing up for. You just vote without proper research, without even knowing the consequences of what you are doing. And just after a few months that Trump took office, everything escalates. Everything was just, oh my god, this is really serious. Like, this is getting serious. This tariff has affected almost everything. Look at the production, look at the supply, look at the job market, look at the everyday grocery shopping. Things are no longer used to be the way it used to be before. Oh my god. Anyway guys, welcome back again, and thank you so much for watching. So watch the remaining clip of this video and let me know what you think about them in the comment section. And
Watch how uncomfortable these Fox hosts get as they report on Trump's tariffs obliterating a business that made toys for special needs kids. Check it out.
There's an item in the New York Post that we all have in front of us. It's an exclusive story, and it talks about how with these 104% tariffs that went into effect.
By the way, is this guy okay?
You know, we think that China is going to have to pay for it, but it tells a story of a special needs toy importer. And when the tariffs went into effect at midnight, his tariff, he's been paying a tariff because he gets stuff from China, $26,000 a year. His tariff bill went from $26,000 at midnight to $346,000. And that's money he's going to have to come out of his pocket. It sounds like
these people have clearly never heard of the art of the deal before.
The United States is forced to pay more money, higher interest rates for people to buy our debt, because countries around the world, specifically Japan in this case last week, was dumping American bonds because they realized that the United States is no longer a stable economy. It no longer is governed by rule of law. It is governed by the whims of a freaking lunatic, and it's no longer a safe place to park your money. Buying up America's debt is more risky now. And here's the thing. You know, Donald Trump talks about all these freeloading countries taking advantage of us. The truth of the matter is the rest of the world is propping us up by buying our debt. If the rest of the world all got together and decided, you know what, let's just destroy the United States, they could do it. They could just say, we're not buying any more of America's debt, and watch them just collapse. We would collapse as a country like that if the rest of the world said, we've had enough. None of us are going to buy up any more of America's debt. Therefore, America can't borrow any more money. We won't be able to spend $2 and $3 trillion more each year than we bring in taxes, because we won't be able to borrow it. And as I said, we're borrowing more than we're accumulating more than $2 trillion of debt each and every year. And next year, we're almost at $1 trillion just in interest payments on the debt this year. Next year, it's projected to be over $1 trillion just on interest on the debt. We are borrowing $1 trillion every year just to pay the interest payments on the money we've already borrowed. This is insane. This would be like a personal household having such massive credit card debt that you can't make minimum payments. So you get new credit cards to borrow money against those credit cards to pay the minimum payments on the credit cards you've already run up and maxed out. That's what's happening to this country right now. And the rest of the world is cutting off the credit card. What would happen if that household who was borrowing on credit cards to pay off to pay minimum payments on their maxed out credit cards, what if they couldn't open any more lines of credit? They'd go bankrupt. They'd have no more money to pay any of the debt. That's what would happen to the United States if other countries decided to stop buying our debt. Or if, yields in the bond market go higher and higher and higher, and it gets more expensive and more expensive for us to finance our debt. The whole house of cards is going to come crumbling down. This entire society is being propped up by a mountain of debt. And we're only being propped up because other people around the world are willing to finance our debt by buying our bonds, by buying America's debt, lending us money. If they stop, we collapse. If it costs too much money because people are dumping our debt and yields are going up, if it costs too much money for us to even borrow the money to finance this friggin' disaster, it's all going to come crashing down. That's what we're headed headlong to. 100 miles an hour. This was a problem that's been coming for decades and decades. But now, because of what Donald Trump is doing, he is driving us off a cliff. This is where we are. I don't know where it's going, but that's where we are in this moment. We are headed for an economic disaster. We'll see. Nobody knows what the hell's going to happen next. Do you know what's going to happen tomorrow? Do you even know what's going to happen by the end of the day? Nobody does. Nobody anywhere around the world does, which is why the United States is no longer a safe place to put your money. We are not a stable republic. We have no rule of law. We have a freaking lunatic mad king who is clearly mentally ill, suffers from all kinds of personality disorder, is bent on vengeance and dominating people, exerting power. He's stupid as a human being can be, he has no idea how any of this works, and he doesn't care. And the political system in this country obviously isn't going to do a damn thing to stop him. We don't have to do this. We don't have to go down this road. We can stop this today. We could end this right now. Congress could impeach and remove him from office, but that's not going to happen. Not anytime soon, and maybe never. And so, towards the cliff at 100 miles an hour, we go. When the crash will happen, how bad it'll be, and what the hell this country will look like if and when it does happen, no idea. But looks like we're going to be finding out. So, happy Monday, everybody. Talk to you again soon.
From MAGA influencers calling for my arrest to Fox News saying that I did something potentially wrong by reporting, this weekend has been a whirlwind. And I just wanted to come on here and just say thank you. Thank you for all your support. I have seen all the comments. I have seen all the videos. I can't respond to them all, but I want you to know this. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not backing down. I'm going to continue fighting. I'm going to continue trying to provide you accurate, timely news every hour, every single day. 24/7, 365 days a year, because you deserve the truth, because the American public deserves the truth. And listen, if this administration doesn't like the truth, facts don't care about your feelings, as some may say. But here's the deal. I did nothing wrong. I shared a report that I saw from a great journalist about ICE raids in Washington, D.C. And well, they got upset that I shared someone else's story. I'm not going to stop fighting, and I hope you'll join me. I hope you'll stay with me. Stay with me in this fight. Consider subscribing to my Substack for more. Link to my bio, and follow on for all the news you need to know about.
Despite the fact that the MAGAs said they don't want the immigrants, they don't want the India, but nevertheless, this immigrant that these people are talking about has really contributed so much in their country. They has really contributed so much positively. Yeah, even though some of them are criminals, some of them are nuisance, but nevertheless, let's also talk the good aspects, the good ones. Yeah, everybody are not bad. So the immigrant has really to the growth of America, and some of them carelessly without resting, without taking a snap. Yeah, and this has also boosted the economy of the United States of America. Yeah, they have really worked so hard. They have worked too hard, and I pray that God Almighty uh, continue to bless them because it's not really easy. And I was so shocked that a lot of you MAGAs actually voted against these people. Yeah, because most of you did not feel comfortable having them around you. Some of you say that they are taking over your jobs, your life, yeah, and things like that. And now you guys voted against them so that Trump can easily deport them back to their country. Nevertheless, we move. So guys, thank you so much for watching and stay tuned and see you on episode. Bye.